Welcome to another edition of From the Press Box, hosted here every Monday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 90.3 WHPC. My name is Rob Leonard, and joining me as my co-host, as he does every week, is my brother and, yes, award-winning sports writer, Tim Leonard. We are part of the WHPC Sports Talk family. Monday through Friday, we are on from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., but also Sports Talk's on from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then there's an additional version of Sports Talk every Tuesday from 10 p.m. to midnight. Brother, how are we doing today?
Outstanding, brother. How about yourself?
And what today? Today's the 19th?
Yes, October 19th.
October 19th, 2020. And we should mark this.
The year that can't end soon enough.
Well, I guess what? It's going to continue just as bad next year unless everyone votes for the right people. We won't say who.
Yeah, 2 weeks, brother. 2 weeks. Yes. 2 weeks until we vote. Unless you vote early. Vote early, everybody.
Well, I'm voting the day of. So, anyway, we should mark down this day in the calendar because the New York Giants somehow won yesterday. They maybe shouldn't have won, but they did. They won because they went for the Washington Football Club, as they are now known as, though they have the same colors.
The Washington Football Team, brother.
Team, club. Yeah, I'm thinking football. I'm thinking of soccer,
Yes.
Anyway, they decided to go for a 2-point play at the end. Riverboat Ron, the coach, as they said on TV.
Riverboat Ron.
He said, I want two. Now, it wouldn't have been a bad deal if... who's the quarterback for the football team?
Kyle Allen, brother.
Kyle Allen had a chance to do sort of a straight run and jump into the end zone, and he held back for like the second, and then he realized he was stuck, and then he threw it just as he was getting tackled, and that's when they lost. They lost 20-19. I have to say, I'm not sure I would have done that, brother. It was a little wild to go for a 2-pointer when you could tie it and then play it a little longer. Yes. I mean, I actually like the idea, but I don't know if I would have done it personally. So anyway, the Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry, the Redskins. I keep calling them that. The football team, the Washington football team, they lost 20-19. So I have to say, brother, the Giants didn't play very well, and they really shouldn't have won. And maybe it's time to start thinking, okay, you know what, Dan, we got to first call him Dan Jones, not Daniel Jones. Second of all, I think he might not be as good as everyone was talking about. And I want to hear your opinion of that, brother.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you for letting me talk. Well, first things first. Ron Rivera, as far as I'm concerned, made the we want the better draft pick decision. As far as going for the 2 points.
He wasn't thinking that, brother.
But that was the decision that he made. All right?
Unless it came from little Danny Schneider in the box.
No, that's not happening. The problem that I have with the decision that he made is that Washington, the only strength that team has is their defensive line and their pass rush.
Right.
So... why wouldn't you want to go to overtime and let your pass rush do their thing against the Giants, get the ball back, and hopefully you drive down, you get even a field goal, and you win the game?
I agree.
So why I admire the gumption that it takes to say, yes, let's go for 2 points and let's win it here. But your offense is your worst part of your team. So when you're taking a chance like that and telling your second or third best unit, I'll even throw special teams in there, to say, all right, go win us the ball game, guys. Well, that's a mistake.
I agree.
Get the tie, go to overtime, and let the best part of your team do their job. Because the Giants, the only reason the Giants even took the lead in this game in the fourth quarter was because Kyle Allen fumbled the ball on a sack, and Tay Crowder picked it up for the Giants and went 43 yards for a touchdown.
Yep.
So it's not like Daniel Jones led the Giants on a a glorious end of game.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Touchdown drive, and here come the Giants, and they're marching 90 yards, and let's go, boys, and let's score a touchdown. No. Kyle Allen dropped the ball. Crowder happened to pick it up. The ball bounced the right way for the Giants, maybe for the first time all season, but Crowder picked it up and ran with it. That was it. That was how the Giants took the lead. So,
no, I agree.
The Giants' offense had done almost nothing for 3 quarters. It was pretty good in the first quarter. They got a field goal, and Daniel Jones threw a nice touchdown pass to Darius Slayton, who, as I said last year, continues to be one of the few bright spots for this Giants team and one of the few really good draft picks that they've made over the last couple of years, aside from Saquon Barkley, who sadly can't stay healthy. But that was the offense. It was 10-0 in the first quarter, but then it was 13-10 at half. The Giants had a slight lead, which I'm not 100% sure because I don't remember. I didn't do the research, but I think that's the first time they've led at halftime all season.
Probably,
all right?
Yeah.
Maybe, and the Rams game they might have led at halftime. But this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a team that can barely score. The touchdown pass from Jones to Slayton was Jones's first touchdown pass in something like 4 or 5 games. He is showing that, like you said, he's not as good as advertised. He's turning into what people said he was on draft night when the Giants picked him way higher than he should have gone and made that mistake. So the problem now with the Giants winning this game is it takes them out of contention for Trevor Lawrence. Although it does put the Jets right in the driver's seat for getting the Clemson quarterback with the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
But when I saw, when I saw Washington lining up for the 2-point conversion, you know how we all have that little voice in our heads, brother? Yours appears to be singing to you now because you seem to be dancing in your chair. I don't know.
Yes. Well, they can't see us, brother. We're on Zoom, but
I can
they
see
can't
it's
see
disturbing.
us.
It's disturbing.
I'm happy.
But the little voice in my head, as soon as they lined up for the 2-point conversion, the voice was screaming. It said, "Mistake! It is a mistake! What are you doing? Mistake!"
Well,
as usual, the little voice in my head was spot on correct. Because it was a mistake. And like you said,
brother,
Kyle... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you go. Keep going.
I was just going to say, Kyle Allen, like you said, brother, had a moment when he rolled to the left to try to buy himself some more time. He had a tiny bit, like it splits a half a second, where the field kind of opened up. And what he should have done is lower his head and say, "I'm going for it. Yep. I'm going to sprint to the end zone. And when I get to the 2 or 3 yard line, I am going to launch myself into the air and hope that I make it to the end zone." And
exactly.
He didn't. And he didn't. And you know the old saying, brother, he who hesitates is lost. And in this case, he who hesitates loses.
Well, they lost. And now that was, well, it's not the reason, but it's the reason for the ending of the game. As much as I like the 2-point play, brother, I also know when you have 40 seconds left in the game, you go for the 1 point. And then you work on, continuing the game. As much as we've talked about gambling on the show and whether it should be legal or not, this is something that would, if there was real legalized gambling in every state, this would have caused a lot of controversy yesterday. Because why would a coach, and you'd have to investigate, okay, does he have a friend who put a bet on it? Or, no. Well, I'm just saying that happens.
This decision has been made before. It's not the first time a coach has decided to go for 2 points late in a game like this. It's rare, but I'm pretty sure Chucky Gruden has done it at least a time or two.
I'm sure he has.
But a coach who makes this kind of decision should either have a go-to play. Like if I'm making this move, I want Marshawn Lynch in my backfield, or I want my quarterback who I know is going to be able to make a quick pass,
right?
And hit a receiver in the end zone with a 3-step drop. Kyle Allen doesn't inspire that kind of confidence. He's Washington's backup quarterback.
Right.
I would rather have Alex Smith in the game for that play, but Alex Smith hadn't played all game. Are you all of a sudden going to throw him in there for a 2-point conversion as his first play of the game? No, you can't do it.
No,
you can't put him in that position. So here's Kyle Allen, who hasn't played well all day. Yes, he threw a really nice pass on the touchdown right before halftime. Great pass. Perfect touch right to the corner. The kind of pass that I was wishing that Eli Manning would throw on that little fade route to the end zone for about 12 years that he never threw. He was terrible with that. But perfect ball. But that was probably one of the few good passes he threw all day. And then you put him in a situation where everybody's covered. The Giants did a great job on coverage on the 2-point conversion. And Kyle Allen scrambles to his left because he's got to buy more time because he's waiting and hoping, praying for a receiver to get open. And the receivers don't get open. So now what do you do? Now the big defensive linemen are closing in on him, and he panics. And by the time he tries to just fling the ball into the end zone, one of the Giants linemen got a hand up and deflected the ball. And that was it. Game over. But you can't put victory on Kyle Allen's decision making. There's a reason this guy is a backup quarterback. So the whole play, unless like I said, unless Ron Rivera has a go-to, very specific, yes, this play will get us 2 points. You kicked one, you kick the extra point, and you live to fight another day, as they say.
Right, that's what I would have liked. That's what he should have done.
It would have been overtime. Let's take our chances and let's see what our D line can do, because they've been beating the hell out of Daniel Jones and the Giants' O-line all day.
Well, one thing, I forgot who the announcer was, but he had a decent point. The Redskins aren't a very good team right now.
No.
But that maybe by getting the 2 points, it gives them a little confidence to, say, oh, okay, well, look what we did against the Giants. We got the 2 points and won. Now, I can understand that, but at the same time, you want to win. It doesn't matter how you win. It's as long as you win. We know that. So,
yeah, of course. I mean, let's put it this way. Like I said, I admire the nerve that it took to go for the 2 points. And by doing that, you avoid mistakes that could happen in overtime or let's say, like you said, Washington is not a good football team. So when to make that move, you're reducing the game to one play. You're not going to overtime. You're not going to say, all right, our offense is going to screw this up or something bad is going to happen. But I mean, for me, the best unit on that field for either team was Washington's defense, and especially their defensive front. So I'm going to let my defense try to win me the game.
I agree.
And it's easy. It's easy to second guess it, because if they score it and they win, then we're all praising Ron Rivera for having big cojones and making the move and getting it done. But again, his offense to me isn't good enough to have that kind of confidence. But I understand what you're saying as far as, does it give them momentum, and does it make them a more confident team? Absolutely, it would have. Because
brother, one thing about the NFC East, just like last season, it is the worst division in the NFL. If the Giants win next week and everyone else loses, they could be tied for first place.
Well, they would still be a half a game.
Half a game, okay.
Because Dallas has played one game less.
But think about that, brother. That's how bad the NFC East is that the Giants actually are still in the running for first place.
It's very sad, brother. In fact, incredibly, with the win yesterday, I think the Giants are in first place in the NFC East. Well, wait a minute. No, just kidding, brother. Just kidding.
That's
not quite true. But yes, unquestionably, it is the worst division in football, and the Dallas Cowboys at 2-3. And now without Dak Prescott for the rest of the season because of the gruesome ankle injury and surgery, they are first place, and probably, I don't even want to say probably not likely to stay there, because who knows? That's how bad the division is. Is that the team that lost their franchise quarterback is still in the driver's seat as far as first place goes. We quite literally could have a team win the NFC East with a 7-9 record. It's quite possible.
If that, yeah. No,
I mean, 6-10 is tough because all these teams play each other.
Right.
So if any team wins 5 division games, which is possible, but if any team does that, then chances are they will win a division. So if any of those teams goes 5-1, even if a team goes 4-2 in the division, but that's what we're looking at with the NFC East. It's a terrible division.
Well,
there's not a good team in a bunch.
Move Dallas to another division. Put the Ravens in this division, and let's have some fun.
Oh, forget it! It wouldn't be fun. It would be fun for the Ravens. The Ravens would have 6 scrimmages.
Right, but there would be at least with less travel. You don't have to go to Dallas and that type of thing.
I never have understood Dallas being in the NFC East, but
it was there for a long time, and Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but Jerry Jones wanted it too. I never did understand. I mean, they kind of when they redid all the divisions and everything, they should have just stuck the Cowboys somewhere in like the NFC South or whatever it is.
Right? Yeah.
Why? There's traditional rivalries. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares?
Once they changed the divisions, it was over.
The chance was there to do it, and they failed.
Right. Anyway, let's talk about the other team in New York that no one cares about. The New York Jets. Really, Timmy, it's again, I think but maybe you will agree with me. Did Joe Flacco play like he just did not want to care or get hurt? So he would go back like 3 steps, and he didn't say anything. He would just throw it to get it out of the way.
I would say no. I would say no because Joe Flacco is a professional. I mean, he cares. I know he cares.
Well, he didn't look like.
Did he play like he didn't want to get hurt? That's a different thing. I know Joe Flacco cares because if he didn't care, he wouldn't be there. Joe Flacco's got more than enough money than he'll need to live the rest of his life and 3 other lives. The Ravens paid him quite well after he won them a Super Bowl how many years ago. Right. To the tune of 9 figures. Joe Flacco doesn't have any money concerns. But
that's good for him.
So the reason that he signed with the Jets is because he still wants to play football. But he'll probably look back at that as a mistake because with the offensive line that he's playing behind, especially without Mekhi Becton, is a sieve. It's a disgrace with everything that he has to deal with back behind that line and getting pummeled, by even by the Dolphins, which, let's face it, the Dolphins are not a good football team, but yesterday they looked like a Super Bowl contender.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, besides getting back in his old team, played.
He's got a lot of old teams. I mean,
the Jets one is a little more personal because of the contract negotiation from a few years ago. No, seriously, Tim, I would remember that.
I don't think he cares. Fitzpatrick has been around for 16, 18 years, however long. He's been in the NFL forever.
Both him and Flacco, long term.
2 old dudes.
Yep.
2 as long in the tooth, as they say. They both had teeth that go down to their belly buttons. But I'm not going to say that Flacco doesn't care because I know he cares, but he also doesn't want to get killed, and that I can't blame him for it because let's face it. All right, first of all, I have to say this, brother, and I still don't understand this, but for the last 3 weeks, what have I done first after a Jets game? And what have I done first on Monday morning before the show is I go online. No, I don't do that. I go online and I look for the story that tells me that Adam Gase has been fired.
Right. I agree.
And I still have yet to find that story. And I have no clue as to why I have yet to find that story.
Sam, I expect him to get fired during the game. So I expect at the end of the game when he's walking off the field, CBS Sports has just found out, or Fox Sports just found out that Adam Gase has been fired. I expect them doing that. I know that.
Happened, brother. Tottenham fired a manager like many years ago. Fired him at halftime. It's hysterical, and that's what happened. That's what it should happen to Adam Gase. This guy is terrible at coaching. He really is. And the problem that I have here is, this was the guy that the Jets hired because they wanted him to show Sam Darnold and lead him to where he was going to be a franchise quarterback, and that he was going to be the quarterback whisperer and the guy that makes Sam Darnold a star.
Right.
Well, is Sam Darnold a star? He's not close to being a star. Sam Darnold is in such a bad place through Adam Gase's coaching. that the chances are that the Jets will draft Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick.
If they can get that chance, they will.
And that is a remarkably sad commentary on Adam Gase.
Well, Adam Gase won't be there if that happens.
No,
you know that.
He'll be gone long before that. But here is what I want to throw this at you, bro, because I want you to file this one away for the memory banks.
Okay, right? I'm writing it down.
Because the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins was a guy by the name of Ryan Tannehill. All right? You know Ryan Tannehill? You know that name, brother? Of course you do.
I know Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's now Ryan Tannehill was regarded as a bust for the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
Couldn't get it right. Couldn't play the position. He's garbage. Dolphins wasted a draft pick. So what happens? The Dolphins traded Ryan Tannehill instead of giving him the big money contract. Who was Ryan Tannehill's coach with the Dolphins? That's right, brother. Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
Now Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans, and they're what, 5-1? I think they are. I don't even see what they did yesterday. In fact, I'm going to look right now. But Ryan Tannehill is now regarded as one of the best quarterbacks in football, and the main reason is because, in fact, the Titans are now 5-0, not 5-1, 5-0. All right. But the reason that Ryan Tannehill is now a great quarterback in the NFL is because Adam Gase is no longer his coach.
How many points do they have offense-wise? Well, I wouldn't. No, because you can't go back because they have defense.
Tennessee, I can. 164 points in 5 games. That's 33 points a game, brother.
Not bad.
Tennessee Titans, and that's with Tannehill, and they have Derrick Henry as a running back who's he's a moose, and he's one of the best running backs in the league. But they have an offense. Sam Darnold has been by himself for 3 years and has nothing. Yep. So Sam Darnold, because right now the plan is, or what it looks like is going to happen, the Jets will get the number 1 overall pick. They will trade Sam Darnold. They will crow about how Trevor Lawrence is the future. He is a generational talent. He is a future Hall of Famer, and the Jets are going to unload Sam Darnold for whatever they can get for him, basically is what it comes down to. And pray that some team is dumb enough to give them a first-round pick for him, because I don't think they're even going to get a first-round pick. Maybe they get a second and a third or whatever they get. But Sam Darnold will turn into the next Ryan Tannehill, because whoever gets him will have a good young quarterback to work with, and will be able to develop him into something that will be NFL worthy. Much like what happened with Ryan Tannehill.
We've been in this situation before, so
with who?
Looking for a new quarterback, looking for the next savior.
Sam Darnold was supposed to be the savior. Sam Darnold was. I'm still convinced that he is the best quarterback to come out of that class from 3 years ago. But the problem is, it doesn't seem like it was a great quarterback class. Baker Mayfield got benched yesterday. Baker Mayfield is. I mean, the Browns were playing well until yesterday. They were having a good season, but Baker Mayfield is up and down. He's too erratic. He's not a consistent guy every week, and that's an issue for a quarterback. It's a big issue, as a matter of fact. But right now, I mean, the Jets, and I keep saying this week after week, they're not competitive.
No, they're not. But they're not fun to watch either. Then that's part of
because they're not competitive. When you lose 24-0, when you let the Miami Dolphins shut you out. Remember when we were talking about weeks ago about the Jets and what was happening with this team, and you looked at the schedule and who were the possible wins. And this was one of the games that I said was a possible win against the Dolphins, and because the Dolphins aren't very good. Well, the Dolphins, they basically kicked the crap out of the Jets. 24-0 is a significant score, and the Jets didn't really sniff the end zone.
Not even close.
I mean, to lose like that to the Miami Dolphins, it just shows you how bad the Jets are. I mean, this is a team that Miami Dolphins are a team that is in the bottom quarter of the NFL, and the Jets got whooped. So there's not a whole lot else to say. Sam Darnold, if I was him, I would take as many games off as I can, because he's just going to get pummeled more. I mean, you look at the stats here, bro. I got stats for you. All right?
I love stats.
Joe Flacco, 21 for 44 for 186 yards and 1 interception. We said it before. It's nothing but checkdowns.
Yep.
There's nothing long. It's all passes out of the backfield. It's all short screens. It's garbage. All right. Le'Veon Bell. Oh, wait. No, Le'Veon Bell. He gone.
He got rid of Le'Veon.
The Jets released him last week. And he signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, for no apparent reason except he didn't get along with Adam Gase. So the worst team.
Yeah, but if you're going to get rid of Adam Gase, you go to Le'Veon and say, "Hey, why don't you stay? We're going to get rid of him."
But the worst team in football gets even worse. How do you unload one of your best players? Le'Veon Bell at least has proven talent, and you get rid of him, and for nothing. They couldn't even get a draft pick for him because his contract is so ridiculous.
Well,
and
that's why
I don't even want to talk about the cap hit that's going to produce. Now, the reason they didn't keep him was because Le'Veon was starting to criticize the organization. It was starting to get into drama. So the Jets just said, you know what, Brian, you're gone. We're good. So now Le'Veon Bell is on the Chiefs. Thank you very much for the chance to win the Super Bowl. I'll go sign with somebody else.
Yeah, I'll go hang out with Phil Mahomes.
Frank Gore had 11 carries for 46 yards. Frank Gore is like 58 years old.
Yeah, I know that.
The Jets have a running back named Pirine, who they drafted last year. Why isn't this kid getting more carries? If you're cutting Le'Veon Bell, give a kid you drafted the carries. See if he can actually play in the NFL. You don't. No, I agree. I love Frank Gore. Frank Gore is a legendary player as far as I'm concerned, who doesn't get nearly enough credit for being a legend. All right, but Frank Gore should not be getting carries at the expense of a draft pick from last season who you need to find out if the kid can actually play in the NFL.
Right.
All right. And then Brett Perryman led the Jets receivers, 4 catches for 62 yards.
Wow.
The Jets have one receiver on their roster, and his name is Jamison Crowder. There is no other legitimate receiver on their roster. And we're still waiting for Denzel Mims, the second-round pick, who actually I was excited for, but we're still waiting for him to actually play in an NFL game because he's had 2 pulled hamstrings. Wow. I don't even know how you do that.
I don't know, but there's 2 good things that came out of yesterday's game, brother.
Yes,
well,
brother.
Not out of yesterday's game, but just 2 knowledgeable facts that we should acknowledge. First of all, Flacco is the 21st in the NFL, the 21st quarterback with like something like 30,000 or 20,000 yards passed total. He's right behind Joe Montana by like 200.
Yeah. He's got to play at least another game to catch up.
Right, and he probably will.
That shows you how pass crazy the NFL has become in the last 20 years.
No,
because Joe Montana is a legend, and the fact that somebody like Joe Flacco is going to pass Joe Montana in total passing yards.
Joe, I'm sure played more games also. So just based on
Joe Montana played a lot of games.
No, but like 16-game season compared to 14. So, and the other thing, brother, is that if you go to Vegas, you can still bet on the Jets winning the Super Bowl.
People are still doing that. I saw an article on ESPN.com that people are actually still betting money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. And I don't care if you're getting 1,000,000 to 1 odds, people. Save your dollar.
I agree.
Buy a pretzel, buy whatever you can get in Vegas for $1. But don't bet on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. You might as well just take the money and light it on fire.
But that's the type of thing where they give you the ticket, and then you go to your buddies. Hey, look, I got the Jets 1,000,000 to 1 or whatever the odds.
And then your friends tell you you're an idiot. So what good is that?
Well, then
what good is that to show a ticket to your friend that proves you're a moron?
Oh, yeah, some people like to brag.
It's a brag. I'm an idiot. I don't get it.
I know.
There's plenty of other things somebody can do to show their friends they're stupid.
Well, I agree with that.
like invite them over to watch the Jets.
Well, yeah, but if they have good food, then you don't care.
Or say, hey, I bought 4 tickets from a scalper for Sunday's Jets game. Want to go? I mean, you're an idiot.
Well, we should say also that the Dolphins let in 11,000 fans yesterday. That's the limit. That's the limit that you're allowed to put in. I don't know how much they charge them, and they didn't say.
That's the limit. That's the limit for Florida, because in Dallas a couple of weeks ago they had about 50,000 people in the stands in Jerry World.
Right, but the question is, how do those tickets work? Do you just walk up in the gate that day, or is it based on?
I don't know. I don't know if season ticket holders get priority or how they're working the distribution. I haven't read anything about it. I don't know.
It was still very low.
They were putting some fans.
It didn't seem very loud, and also it seemed like all the seats were upper deck. They didn't seem like they had a lot down.
They're going to spread people out as much as possible, and they probably don't want them close to the players or anywhere near where they can throw something.
Well, they're trying for, brother, and this. I mean, the Super Bowl is months away, but they're trying to make it so they can get people used to going, so they can do the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be, and still is the biggest sports event in the world, or at least in the United States, and they want to have that sold out if they can, or at least halfway or three-quarters.
It's not going to happen, brother.
Well, I don't know.
You're not going to have fans. You might have some fans at the Super Bowl. You're not going to have a packed building. There's no chance. Let's not even pretend that that's possible at this point. It's not.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
They're eyeing it, brother. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. But
they can eye it all they want, but reality is, I'm talking reality here. Roger Goodell can eye whatever he wants, but I'm talking reality.
But that's what they're looking at.
If they can fill that building half, that would be a victory for the NFL.
Right.
But more than that, not a chance. And I think even half is probably overstating it.
Well, that's what they're looking for. That's why they're starting to do, seating, and I bet you they do it at MetLife Stadium sometime before the year ends, just to
Nobody's
see if they can
do it. Who's going to want to go to those games?
Maybe if he gave me a nice soda and free hot dogs or something.
You would have to bribe fans to go.
Besides,
here's a chance, maybe a slim chance, but here's a chance to catch COVID, and you can watch one of the worst. You can watch the worst football team in the NFL if you go to a Jets game, or one of the worst football teams in the NFL to go to a Giants game. Why would who would want to risk that? Not me.
I agree.
Not anybody with a brain.
Well, other people, brother.
Well,
they're the ones who vote for the Jets in the Super Bowl.
There was one highlight from the Jets game yesterday, brother.
There was,
and of course, with the Jets, it involved a butt.
Okay.
Marcus May, the Jets safety,
right,
pulled off what some are calling the butt interception.
Okay.
And I'm going to give Rich Cimini credit for this disgusting line. He called it the butt pick.
All right.
So that's gross. But Marcus May, we're not going to call it the butt pick here, brother. But every Jet fan, I'm going to give some background. Every Jet fan should know about the butt fumble. That was the Mark Sanchez, when Mark Sanchez, the quarterback, infamously ran into the butt of one of his linemen and fumbled the ball, which I still don't know how he didn't see a lineman, but he ran right into him, fumbled, knocked himself down, and a play that summed up those Jets teams and Sanchez's career.
Yeah.
But the butt interception happened when May broke up a pass from your boy Ryan Fitzpatrick and somehow managed to pin the ball to his hindquarters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
As he was falling to the turf, which was pretty remarkable. And he even managed to swing the ball around to the front of his body as he got up. He was attempting to return the interception, but he was ruled down by contact. It was actually a pretty remarkable play.
It was. I thought so. It reminded me of the Super Bowl with the ball on the helmet.
David Tyree. Yeah, David Tyree with the ball on his helmet, except this was the ball on his butt.
Yeah,
so that was the highlight for the Jets yesterday. And the other good thing to come out of that game, and it was not Jets related, was that Tua Tagovailoa got his first NFL game time. Tua, the infamous Alabama quarterback who was the Dolphins' first round pick this year, has been sitting and learning from Fitzpatrick, and called Fitzpatrick a great mentor, and Fitz, to his credit, apparently every time he comes off the field, he's talking to Tua and telling him, why did I, this is why I did this. This, he's trying to get him to understand situations and why he's doing certain things. And that's a good, when you got a guy from Harvard who's teaching your quarterback how to think, that can't be a bad thing.
No, I agree, brother.
So Tua completed a couple of passes, finally got himself on an NFL field, and the beginning of the Tua era in Miami was who knows when he's finally going to get a start. I think it's probably going to be several weeks because he's still, I mean, obviously he's recovered from the hip injury that he had last year. It was almost career ending surgery, and he came back and he's got to be 100% if he's playing. But starting is different from coming in at the end of a game. So because then it was the only way it was Jets related is because the Jets are so bad and the Dolphins had such a big lead that they were able to put 2 in.
Okay, you're listening to 90.3 WHPC from the press box here every Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. My name is Rob Leonard. Joining me, of course, is my brother and All-American sports writer, award-winning sports writer too, Tim Leonard. And the Rays won the AL on Saturday. And you know what, brother?
What?
If they decide that this is going to be the future with the extra bonus baseball round, it's going way too long. It's going way too long. I expect this. I know that.
It's October 19th, brother, and the World Series is starting in a couple days.
Yeah, I know.
So
and normally
we've had World Series games in November for the last few years.
I know, but it just feels, I don't know, slower now after a 60-game quick season, and it just seems like this. And it's not actually because it's only been a month.
But that's why. I mean, the series are actually going faster because they're playing every day.
Yeah, I know, but it's just at the same time, it has a weird feel on it. That's all.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that one, brother.
Who the Rays playing, brother?
The Rays will be playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. I was kind of hoping that the Atlanta Braves would win that series, especially after taking the 3-1 lead in the series. But give the Dodgers credit. They were able to come back and it's just, I don't know. The Braves just kind of fell apart. I don't know what happened to them. I was a little disappointed, like I said. I don't know. Which series do you want to talk about first, brother? Because, there's...
Well, I mean, how much can we talk about? I mean, just to kind of sum things up, Tampa Bay took a 3-0 lead over the Houston Astros in the ALCS. Then watched with horror as the Astros won the next 3 games to force a Game 7. But Charlie Morton was lights out in Game 7, close to unhittable. And the Tampa Bay bullpen showed why they're the best in baseball. Yes, even better than the Yankees bullpen, brother. I hate to admit it, but I have to admit it because it's a fact. So they beat the Astros in Game 7 4-2 to win that series and go to their first World Series, I believe, in 12 years, if I remember correctly. But you know what? I mean, a lot of people are very happy that the Astros lost. I think a lot of baseball was united in that spirit that the Houston Astros don't deserve success because they're cheaters. Well, they are, and they really didn't get in trouble as much as they should have. If you look back at what happened over the whole thing where, we'll give you a little fine here, and they're not going to take away the games, but they should have done more money-wise. They should have taken them out of a lot of other things, and they didn't. And that's why I think it is the way it is with the Astros. I think people are going to hate the Astros for a while because of what happened.
The punishment was definitely too light. And then the Astros had the nerve to complain about this season, about how they were so hated. And I'm like, how were you hated? Nobody was in the ballpark.
Right.
It was as fortunate as it could have been with all the COVID and nobody in the stands because they would have gotten buried by the fans. So,
oh, God. That's when they came to Yankee Stadium?
Stop the whining, Houston. Just stop the whining.
Right. It's just, it was just a joke. They got lucky. Maybe by next year people forget a little more because that always happens. But maybe not. I mean, they should.
I think people are eager to boo them. But who knows? George Springer might not even be around anymore next season for the Astros. So that team might start coming apart a little bit.
Right.
Then the Dodgers, like I said, the Braves went up 3-1. Looked like that series was over. And then the Dodgers came back and won 3 in a row. Kiki Hernandez and Cody Bellinger hit solo home runs last night in the 6th and 7th innings to break the 2-2 tie. And Julio Urias, brother, a name I told the listeners of this show about at least 4 years ago. 24-year-old lefty. The kid is the goods. Pitches 3 hitless innings to finish out the game. Still only
That's
20.
good.
That's good. The Braves, who their pitching was phenomenal in 3 of the first 4 games. phenomenal. It had been phenomenal throughout the playoffs. It couldn't get it done, and the bats especially couldn't get it done because that really is who I'm going to put it on. Freddie Freeman is about the only guy in that lineup that could actually hit. But the Dodgers, congratulations to them. They earned it, even though Clayton Kershaw again got hit pretty badly in the playoffs. But this is our World Series, and I'll be honest, I'm not overly excited about it.
No, but you know what? It's just getting to the end of the year. And I think, you got that right now with baseball. You had it with hockey and basketball. I think all these leagues just want to take a couple of months off, see which way they're going. It's all about testing. It's all about who's going to be the president in January. It's all about a lot of things. And that's the main thing, because obviously our current president doesn't really like testing because too many people get found out they have it. Numbers go up when you test. Yeah. So
because accuracy.
Right. So the problem is right now, and it's still going to happen, is when does, basketball and hockey start? They're talking January 1st. That's still only a few months away. And then when does it end? Do they have a 60-game season instead of an 80? Do they go to, October or September? That was something. After a while, it was like, wow, it's September, and the NBA is still playing. Instead of preparing to start the season, they were ending the season. So
yeah, that's something that's something they're going to have to figure out, because right now, if any league wants to change their calendar, now is the time to do it. Like if the NBA or NHL decides they want to start later and then finish later, then fine, do it. Now's the time.
Well, part of it's all about the TV contract. The NBA likes June because it's after the May sweeps. They don't want to be in May. The league, the networks like June as the finals because it's not the sweeps. A lot of programming doesn't get aired. It's reruns in June, so they can. The NBA gets really good ratings. The NHL's had some really good ratings in their June playoff thing. So, I'm not sure. I think they figured out. Have another shortened season, and then work it from there. And then
that's
next
probably
year,
what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the sad part is that the Islanders are supposed to play one more season at the Coliseum, and that's probably not going to happen. So. Unfortunately.
What are you going to do?
Anyway, brother, continuing here.
By the way, brother, before you move on, I'm going Tampa Bay in 6 for the World Series.
Okay. I'm going...
Tampa's going to turn into Titletown. You have the Lightning, and then you're going to have the Rays. It's going to turn into Titletown, I'm guaranteeing.
I don't know. I think the Dodgers... I don't know. I don't want the Dodgers, when they got taken over by Magic Johnson and friends, there was a lot of things going on there. It'd be nice if they won it, but I don't like the way the Devil Rays play.
Nice. Why? Because they're the Rays, brother. No more Devils.
I still call them the Devil Rays. I'm sorry. Anyway, a couple of things.
Why don't you like the way how they play? You can't throw that out there and not explain it.
I don't like the pitching situation. I don't like first inning we're going to have our relief pitcher, and then we go 3 innings with a starter, and then we balance off the rest of the game. So.
You find ways to win. That's how they win. They don't have the cash to pay starters. They don't have the kind of cash to pay Garrett Cole $30-something million a year. So you improvise. They got a great bullpen. They got like Kevin Cash said when he was threatening the Yankees and never got fined for it. Or actually got suspended one game. We got a bunch of guys out there to throw 98, and they do. They got about 8 of them. So do what you can with what you have, and if it's successful, even better.
I don't know.
I can't fault them. Is it traditional baseball? No, it's not. But
no, it's not.
It's successful, and that's all that matters.
It has been successful. You're right.
Winning is what it's all about.
We have just a couple more things to mention. Joe Morgan, Hall of Famer with the Reds, and also he was an announcer for a long time. Died this past week. He joins Seaver and Bob Gibson. And
Whitey Ford, brother.
Whitey Ford. I didn't see what I wrote here. Whitey Ford, who've died in the past month.
A couple months. It's recent. Months. 2020's turned into a bad year for old baseball players.
And of course, Morgan. one thing it always bothered me a little bit is that he would never knock his Cincinnati Reds, compared other teams to the Reds. Oh, I think our Reds team was always the best.
They were a good team. I mean, you can't really blame him for that.
Yeah, but
the Reds were a good team. It was a really good team. They had talent everywhere.
They did. I'm not saying they did, but he was almost too protective of them, and I can understand that. But it just sometimes, you get to the point where you say, okay, well, this guy, if you want to talk about stats, he's better.
Wow. But I'll give you an example, brother. A comparison. Yeah. Larry Zonka. Same thing with the 72 Dolphins. And pretty much any guy on those 72 Dolphins.
Well, Nick Bonacani is also that way. Nick is
There you go.
Nick is was very protective.
I was going to say was.
He would show up. Remember when the Giants beat the Pats a couple of years ago, and they were 19-0, and they were like, well, still, if they lose a game, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We're undefeated.
Exactly. Those guys pop champagne every time. The last undefeated team, when they lose their game, the Dolphins get together and they pop champagne.
Yeah, and they've been doing
it for almost 50 years now.
I still remember that 72 team. I thought they were a very good team. There was a lot of people busting their chops over that game, and it didn't really last that long. A couple of 3 seasons really, and then Zonka and Jim Kick leave, and Paul Warfield leaves, and it's over. Really,
that's why when teams do something special like that, it lives on, because it's difficult to do it again, and it's difficult to win again, especially today. Yes. I mean, back then those guys left because the World Football League or whatever it was started throwing money around. And nowadays you got salary caps to deal with, and it's tough to keep teams together.
Yep.
Contracts run out, and you got to sign guys. You guys want raises, arbitration,
right? And if you look at the Patriots, they don't always have the same players, but they have the same coach and the same
it's a system
organization.
That's what I keep saying. Yeah. Tom Brady, system quarterback. People kill me for that. I'm sticking with that opinion because it's right.
Yeah, so I agree. He's right now, especially right now, he's at Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, and he's not doing as well as he should be. Maybe he's older,
40.
but still, he thinks he's in great shape. He does a special exercise. He's doing.
We're gonna get you on that plan, brother. We're gonna get you on the Tom Brady plan.
Do I get to sleep with his wife?
No.
Oh, then what? Do it.
Find your own chick.
I like her.
Find your own Giselle. Get on the plan. We'll take you down to Brazil. We'll find you a Giselle. There's millions of them down there.
I'm sure there are.
3,000.
Anyway, by the way, brother, Doc Emmerich has officially not resigned. He's retired.
Retired, brother. This is the saddest news of the day.
Yeah, he has a book coming out, so that may be part of it. But
no,
it's not. But it might be. You never know.
It's not. He's 74. I mean, the guy. Let's put it this way. I would listen to Doc Emmerich read a grocery list. That's how good he is.
Well, I am too. He's always he's a good. He doesn't take sides. Well, sometimes he takes sides, but he did. Islanders when the Islanders were playing in the playoffs. Remember that offside that happened, and he goes back and goes, well, Flyer fans remember when that offside happened in 1980. And I'm like, whoa, where did that come from, Doc?
Because he's a historian. What are you talking about? I thought that was a great moment for Doc Emmerich. He could throw that out there. But what was bad about that?
The problem is that the blue line has changed. It's been moved back, 4 feet, 5 feet? So the Islanders, if they had that blue line today, it wouldn't have went out. So that's the part
in theory, anyway.
Theory, yeah, I know. Yeah. But anyway, brother.
Doc Emmerich's the best. He's the best. He's the best announcer out there. And it is sad to me that he is retiring. I can't say enough good things about him. To me, he is sports royalty and always will be.
We have to try to get him on the show, Tim, via Zoom. That would be a great thing because he I didn't realize he was 74. I know he did the Devils games for so long, and this year he didn't have to travel, so it was probably the best thing for him. And maybe he should have waited until next year because he might have to travel next year.
That's also true. But Doc Emrick, he's like me, brother. He's got that youthful enthusiasm. That's why 74 years old. He sounds like he's in his 30s when he's doing a game because he's all excited. He's hyped up.
Old man Leonard, brother.
Youthful enthusiasm. That's what it's all about.
Youthful enthusiasm. Old man Leonard. Anyway, brother, before we run out of time, I wanted to bring up a personal thing for you.
What's that?
A sports writer that you worked with at the Bergen Record recently passed.
Yes,
Mark talk about.
Yes, Mark Zawinski. Another guy who I can't say anything but good things about.
He covered the Devils, right?
Covered the Devils. He was part of their Stanley Cup runs. I actually covered a Stanley Cup Finals with him when they played the Colorado Avalanche. I'll be honest, I don't even remember what year it was. It was a long time ago. And we were writing stories and battling deadlines out in Colorado, and then getting on a red eye and flying home and getting back to New Jersey at 6 o'clock, and then having to be at Devils practice at 10 o'clock that same morning. So the next time you think sports writing is glamorous, consider that schedule. Just absolute total pro, a guy who I will always remember his laid back personality, his really just always solid advice. The fact that he would speak up when he thought something wasn't the way it should be. And one of those times involved me. I'll leave the rest of that story for us just privately. And it's just also a guy who was just a real pro, and is somebody who had a definite impact on me because he was part of the group when I got to the Bergen Record, who kind of showed me the ropes and gave me, like I said, a lot of really good, solid advice. So the world has lost a really great person, and a very good writer. A very good writer, just an outstanding human being. And I was really very sad last week.
Just say his name again, brother.
Mark Zawinski.
If you want, you go to the Bergen Record website, and it might have a paywall on it, but his stuff is really good to read. So if you want to, thererecord.com or northbergen.com.
NorthJersey.com. I don't know if they're going to find stuff because Gannett wiped most of it out. So
they've been putting stuff back on, brother, because I've been looking for you. So but you have to pay for it. So that's anyway, brother, we're running out of time here. We have plenty of time though to talk about Premier League soccer. What's happening with your Tottenham team, Tim?
It's crazy, brother. Premier League, and I'll tell you what, Tim Howard, former United States national team goalkeeper,
right?
Former Everton goalkeeper, made a good point that I thought was valid. I'm going to share with the listeners. He said that he thinks there's more goals this season because there are no fans in the stands, and that the fans, above all else, hold players accountable. And they make the players find that extra gear and to work harder and to figure it out. And this year we're seeing goals all over the place. Tottenham yesterday wound up with a 3-3 draw against West Ham. And for the first 20 minutes of the match, I was thrilled. Heung-min Son scored in the first minute, literally 47 seconds into the game. Tottenham's up 1-0. Harry Kane comes back, scores 2 more. Spurs are leading 3-0 before the game is even 20 minutes old, and I'm dancing on my couch because we got 3 points. And then what happens? Tottenham doesn't play well in the second half. Gareth Bale makes his second debut for Tottenham. They brought him back out. He finally plays, and then West Ham scores 3 goals in the final 12 minutes of the game, which was as stunning a result as anything I can remember. Right. It was disgraceful. So 3-3 final. It felt like a loss, and I was mortified. I was so angry. I shut off everything yesterday. Shut off my computer. Shut off my television. I needed an hour to cool down because I was that upset. But the same thing happened at Chelsea. Chelsea played Southampton. And wound up with a 3-3 final score. Same thing. And it's, a couple weeks ago, Tottenham beat Manchester United 6-1. Aston Villa beat Liverpool 7-2. The number of goals being scored in the Premier League this year is just incredible. And
I think it would be just the opposite, brother, that, with the fans there, that players would play less casual. And maybe as casual, they're getting, better shots at the goal or something.
Well, I think Tim Howard's, his point made some sense. I think that probably does have something to do with it. And then it was not something I really hadn't thought about very much, but when he said it yesterday on the broadcast, I was like, that actually does make some sense. Yeah. Also, brother, Liverpool, they wound up in a 2-2 draw with Everton, and Everton is still in first place right now, which is incredible enough.
Wow.
Aston Villa is in second place. Aston Villa, which barely avoided relegation last year by 1 point, is in second place and have won all 4 of their matches. Unbelievable. But Liverpool, your guy Virgil van Dijk, brother, one of the best defenders on the planet, never mind in the Premier League, had a collision with the Everton goalie, Jordan Pickford, and I'm not sure what exactly he did, but it sounds like an ACL because he's having knee surgery, and they're saying he's going to be out for 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
So that sounds like an ACL.
Yes, it does.
If that's the case, Liverpool's got some trouble now because he is the centerpiece of their back four. And if he's out, there's issues, major issues. So they're going to have to figure out a way to stop
the deal. And by the way, I was reading this week, brother, and I know you'll be saving your money for this. The Red Sox, John Henry, who also owns the Liverpool Football Club.
I know where this is going.
There's talk that they might take the company public, just like MSG. They would still own the voting rights, but it would allow people to buy stock in the company. Now, imagine some Liverpool fans coming to the stockholders meeting up in Boston. It's a weekend party. They're visiting relatives. They get the Guinness out. Hey, let's go to the stockholders meeting and yell. They probably get the Sam Adams out, brother, because they like to try those American beers. Well, but
you'd be amazed how many people over there drink Budweiser.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It's horrifying.
You think that they have better beer. So anyway, brother, so you might want to start saving some of your money. I'm going to be buying some stock. I own shares of MSG, so to me to own 2 teams the way I own MSG would be an incredible, super fantastic thing.
Well, if you own MSG, you already do own 2 teams, brother. The Rangers
I do. Yeah, but that's right. It's only the Knicks and the Rangers. They don't own the Liberty anymore. Well, they own the Hartford
it's not a team. Come on, minor leagues don't count.
Well, it does.
So, brother, what is the stock symbol for the Red Sox in Liverpool? What's that going to be? DUM?
No, I don't know what it's going to be, brother. Anyway, we have to go, brother. That we'll leave it off on that. You're listening to 90.3 WHPC, the voice of Nassau Community College. Coming up next is Big Ed with the Good Gold Show, and listen to him for the next 2 hours. He's playing some nice oldies. And thanks to Sean Novat for keeping this stuff on the air. See you next week. Bye-bye.